mid-April, Eagle Lake, Ontario behind me. If there's ever a lake that didn't need an introduction, it's Eagle Lake. This lake is on everybody's bucket list of musky lakes to visit. If you got a trip planned here for 2021, stick around. I talked to two of the best guides on this lake. They're gonna tell us what they use. I have Cal, Ritchie, and Danny Herbeck giving us all their pro tips. Stick around and we'll find out. So just a quick thing here before we continue. I myself, while I fish Eagle Lake, I am no Eagle Lake expert. I don't claim to be, I don't pretend to be, but I truly enjoy the challenge of Eagle Lake. But when I thought of doing this video, I thought of a few people. I reached out to 3 or 4, a couple declined for whatever reason, but Danny and Cal were nice enough to offer up their help. So I'm glad that we did get 2 of the very best on Eagle Lake, and anything that I say is just gonna add to what their information is. So I just wanna be clear that almost everything in this video will be coming from their perspective. It's Glenn McDonald with 54 Bust, and today it's all about Eagle Lake, Ontario. I talked to 2 of the best guides on the lake, Cal Ritchie, Danny Herbeck, and they told me what they think you guys should use when you come up to Eagle Lake. I got their notes right here. After pretty long phone conversations with both of them, we broke it down, and you'll be surprised, or perhaps you won't be surprised, to see how much overlap they have in their lures. And I asked them to start at the west arm, which is the clearest part of Eagle Lake, work their way to the north, the Vermilion Bay, Andy Myers area, and then start working their way down south, and the water gets slightly dirtier as you go down south. So I just started with Bucktails. So I asked Cal, I said, what would you use? You don't have to give specifics, but just colors and types of lures. The first one that he started with, which unfortunately I don't have here, but I will cut into a quick video where I'll show it to you, was the Shumway Flasher. That he said that's one of his best early season lures. The combination of marabou with a little bit of tinsel in it has always been a great producer for him on Eagle Lake. So that's the first one that he kind of went to. And then because he's a Spanky Bait user and been sponsored by them, he was trying to give me some colors and some styles. So I told him, I said, just keep it simple. So as we were starting in the west arm, here's what he kind of told me. He's like, start with your black and orange, your black and smoke, black and nickel, black and red. So I don't have a lot of Spanky Baits at home, so I got to thank my wife Kyla for letting me take some from Bobby's Sports Shop. So here's a black with some red tinsel. That's a Spanky. Black and green Spanky. This is another popular combination on Eagle Lake. Another one that Cal says he uses. This would probably be one of his top ones. Just black and smoke. As simple as it gets, but it's super effective on that west arm, clear water, even up in the north. And then Cal told me that as he works into the north part of the lake around Vermilion Bay, he would add in some gold and black. This has a frosted red tip. And then as he worked south, he would start to add some brighter colors into overcast. So it's pretty simple stuff. I wasn't really surprised by what he said. It was kind of right along with what I expected him to say. All right, when I asked Danny the same question, I got almost the exact same answer. Danny is sponsored by Musky Mayhem, so obviously he's going to start on the west arm with black and orange. That's a staple color out on the west arm. This is a trigger that I got from Danny. He would start here. Again, he's telling me smoke and black, nickel and black. Again, those very basic colors that everybody probably already has. And then almost the same idea. He's like, as you get an overcast sky or you start to move into the dirtier water, he's adding some chartreuse into that. And then again, he said almost the same thing as Cal. As you get into the slightly dirtier water, he's adding in a gold pattern as well. So this is a gold with a little bit of the cranberry in it. So I wasn't really surprised there. I'll kind of add my thoughts on it as well, and I certainly don't have the experience that those guys have on Eagle Lake. So just to add a couple of things to the Bucktails, something that I've had good luck with, and I certainly use all the colors that those guys described to me, and those are pretty well-known color combinations for this north, central, and west arm of Eagle. But I would add a black perch, which again is very similar to smoking black, but with that perch colored skirt. On the brighter days in the clear water, this color just pops. This is a twin 8 by PD's. I know this bait here has caught a couple 50s out on the West Arm. It's been a good producer for us. So that color combination is something that you're going to want to have, is that smoking black perch. Another combination that I think works and that both those guys said is you can add in like a Cisco pattern. And so this is an electric bunny. This one has certainly been used. We've had good luck with it. And this is sort of that Cisco whitefish type of pattern. And another pattern that I'll use if we have super overcast or the water's really dirty. This is another electric bunny. I'm not even sure what this pattern's called. I added the tails off of Big Joe, and this one really shows up in overcast or in dirty water. All right, when I asked both those guys what their second lure choice would be, they both give me a bit of a toss-up between a top water and a rubber. But both of them said you need to have a top water on this section of Eagle, that being the west, north, and center. And looking at my notes, Cal was pretty much split between a walk the dog style and a prop tail. He didn't give me specifics, but what he did say is black, orange, chartreuse, or a combination thereof. Again, pretty standard stuff. Here's a fat bastard. I think this one's called Lake of the Woods Orange or Lake of the Woods Black. It's a Dr. Evil with the orange pattern. This is a Twisted Sister, black with gold. All pretty standard stuff. And then in the Walk the Dog, here's an old jackpot that I had in kind of a fire tagger orange, yellow belly. And then this is a little Dancing Raider, Booker Outdoors. This is something that I've had really good luck with. Just a smaller presentation, and this is something that I'll use a lot. So when I talked to Danny about it, he said almost the same thing. Looking at his notes, he's more of a prop tail style. So he's definitely on the side of like a pacemaker, fat bastard, and his colors were almost the same, that black orange loon pattern. So that's stuff that probably most of you guys already have in your box. All right, the last part that those guys give me was rubber. And again, I wasn't surprised with that. Everybody uses rubber on Eagle, especially on those deeper parts of the lake. So what Cal gave me is his two choices would be bulldogs and tubes. And for bulldogs, pretty well sticks with the similar colors to what he was using in Bucktails. So like a black, orange, white belly, overcast days, more in the chartreuse colors. He did add here that he'll use some more natural colors, so some whites, oranges, silvery blues, stuff like that. And in the tubes, he said he'd keep it into the natural Cisco patterns or walleye patterns or black and orange. So here's a Twisted Tube by Red October. That's obviously like a Cisco-y pattern. And then here's a regular tube by Red October in a walleye pattern. So when I talked to Danny about rubber, his answers were pretty well the same. He's sponsored by Savage Gear. So this is a eel that I got from Danny. So he uses a lot of these natural patterns on Eagle Lake. This one, I believe this is what they call their alien eel. It's very similar to a bulldog. Danny uses a lot of Red October tubes. And again, looking at the notes, it's all very similar color patterns to what Cal would say. So that walleye pattern, black and orange, Cisco sucker patterns, doesn't vary too much from there. They've had good luck with those type of patterns. So that's kind of where they would go with those patterns. I would add just a couple things to the rubber. I've had good luck using the Lake X Toad, as well as the older Lake X Tullibee, which is kind of transformed into the B52. We've had good luck with this out on the West Arms on those deeper break lines. And another type of lure that those guys didn't suggest, but I do know they use them from time to time, but something I would use would be just your standard Suic. Suic Thriller, Dive and Rise. There's a bunch of different types out there, But I think in the deeper, clearer water, these are good choices off those deep break lines. And we've had some good success on the West Arm using Suics. Just to wrap up, it was fun and interesting talking with Danny and Cal. They're probably two of the very best muskie anglers on Eagle Lake. They have a proven track record of big fish, of numbers of fish. They're very knowledgeable on the lake, and they're very knowledgeable on the lures, and it was fun just talking to them and kind of picking their brain. They're both friends of mine, so I do talk to them from time to time anyway. But it was interesting to see how similar their choices were. And again, I've said it already before in this video, I wasn't really surprised because Eagle Lakes kind of has a reputation as being known for a certain type of pattern throughout the lake. But it was quite interesting. I hope you guys get something out of this video. I'm sure most of you already have very similar lures to this, but it's always nice to hear from the experts what they use, and maybe you can add a few of these colors or patterns into your arsenal when you guys come up to Eagle Lake. If you guys like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Be trying to put up new videos every week. Next week, I believe I'm going to do Indian Lake Chain, Vermilion Bay, Ontario. It's one of the lakes that I kind of grew up on, and it's one where I kind of cut my teeth musky fishing. So look for that in about a week's time.